Hello, everybody, and welcome to Perspectives. I'm your host, Sam Jones, and we begin with Lexi McPeak and Jane Treat with Light of Hope and Light of Hope's illumination. You guys are shining. What is Light of Hope?
Light of Hope is a service to the community. It's a nonprofit that provides different counseling groups and recovery from addiction, mentoring, opportunities for widows to get together and support each other, opportunities for veterans to commune and be given tools and plans to help overcome the struggles in life.
You got a lot on your plate. How long have you been with the organization?
I've been with them from the beginning.
Really?
Yeah.
So it's 9 years.
Yeah, it's
So
grown
you're
a
a fairly
lot.
new group. You know, all things considered. An organization like this has to have its finger in a lot of pies. And I'm assuming that's the same thing that would hold true here with you. How do you decide who gets what?
Well, Nancy Phelps is our executive director, and one thing that I love about Nancy is that she has a disposition towards action. And so really whenever she hears of an opportunity to serve a new group of people, or they have a food pantry at different times, they've distributed food during the pandemic, whenever there's an opportunity to serve, Nancy's heart and disposition is yes.
So she's ready to go.
Always.
Lexi, you've been with them from the beginning. Do you see new avenues opening up down the road of folks you could serve?
Definitely. We've actually been talking about starting a support group for students and young adults. There's been some talk about youth group, which about the same thing, but more teenagers. And there's also a couple different grief groups, and that's for mothers that have lost children, widows, a general grief group. And there's just been a lot of growth and just trying to make sure that everybody's covered. If there's multiple people that have a need, then we'll get them together and they can talk about it if they need to.
And kind of help them hammer it out. Do you have resources that you can call on if you need guidance working with certain groups? For example, if you think, you know what, maybe I need a psychiatrist to help guide me on this.
Yes, we actually have a couple therapists from Creoaks that are running out a place at the office. And then we also do a lot with Grand Lake, or Grand Mental Health is what they're called now.
Jane, if there's somebody out there that is seeing and hearing this for the first time, how do they get in touch with you?
Well, they can go on the website and register. We are located, we have a permanent building that is directly across from the courthouse, and it's always open. There are people there ready to receive volunteers, people who are in need, and find ways to help them, connect them with existing resources in the community, or support them as they walk through their journey in life. The support network is what makes the difference between, we can know what the right thing to do is, we can give the right 12-step program, or avoid these situations, practice these behaviors, but when you have a community who comes alongside you and supports you, you're able to move to that next level. And we've seen so many people overcome challenges. My husband and I were financial supporters, and so we're looking in more from a distance than like Lexi has more of a first-hand view. But it is remarkable to meet people whose trajectories have been changed because of the community and the hope that they found in this community, and in practicing their faith. And it's just been beautiful to see marriages restored, to see businesses that were being derailed by an addiction, be able to thrive and support a family and have parents reunited with children that have been estranged because of addiction. It's really just beautiful.
I have never been faced with a personal addiction, but I have friends who have. And one common theme seems to be there's nobody that understands what I'm going through. And that's not the case, is it, Lexi?
No, and what I love about Light of Hope is there's a lot of people that family, friends are addicts and you don't know how to approach it. You don't know what to do. Like, for instance, I'm a child of addicts.
You're what?
And I'm a child of addicts. And it took a toll for a really long time. And Light of Hope has become my family and inspired me. I mean, I love my parents, but yeah.
It's an intriguing concept because there are things that go hand in hand here with addiction. And folks don't always understand that and will turn their backs in a heartbeat, think, oh, he's a doper, or she's a smoke, whatever, without trying to say, here's an arm around their shoulder,
Exactly.
and let me get you some help. And they
define.
think they're alone. Do you encounter that a lot?
I've definitely encountered that, yes. And they're not able to see the underlying factors that contributed to their developing addiction. A lot of it is mental health and trauma.
Well, you're doing an incredible job that a lot of folks will take on. So I will thank you both for trying to wade in. It's a swamp. You have a event coming up October 23rd.
We do.
Tell us about it.
Well, it's going to be out at the Ponderosa. It's an event to raise money in order to support our activities throughout the year. We're really excited to be welcoming in our donors and supporters in the community. We'd love to extend a hand to new supporters. It's an opportunity for people to take action, to provide something for our community that's local to Claremore and help people who are in need. We regularly are referred people from the courthouse, and so it's not just people who are willfully coming to us for help, but people who are being sent to us. And it's a resource here that, while some people might not know about, is making a really big difference in our community. And at a time in our country when we're surrounded by, just like you said, a lot of despair, a lot of discouragement, violence, and this is an opportunity for us to come together, to put our arms around each other and say, not in our town, not in our backyard. No one's going to be alone. Nobody's going to be without support, and we can each work together to make a difference.
Well, listen, I want to thank you both for taking time to come. Will you come back
We'd love to.
down the road and let's talk some more about this,
Yes.
because there are folks out there, as you well know, who need an arm around their shoulders, and you seem to be providing it. So let's stay in touch, okay?
Absolutely.
All right, short break. We'll be back with more right after this. And we're back. Rogers County Youth Services has served the community since 1976. Kim Montgomery is here to talk about a new campus that's currently under construction. Welcome.
Well, thanks for having me. We're excited to be here.
Good to have you here. You guys do so much. Let's start at the beginning so folks at home get a clearer understanding of who you are and what it is you do.
I'm glad to share that. So, like you said, we started in 1976, and the agency, it was actually born out of a change in state policy. There was some litigation that happened at that moment in our history. Youths who were either in trouble or runaway, a number of different things, were housed actually in the county jail with adults. And we would all now say,
really?
not okay. So the county was in an emergency situation and had to house these kids and provide services for them. And one of my favorite parts about the startup is the community spirit that came together. There were a number of different groups, like the Cotillion Club that did a money tree, chili cook-offs and the like. And actually, Rogers University, not Rogers State University, but what the school was back then, Rogers College, actually provided a house for the agency. Cherokee Nation provided funding for the house parents that would cover the kids. So we started out as a shelter for kids who were struggling. They were either runaway, abused, or running into trouble. But today, the demographics look very different and our circumstances look different. We're no longer a shelter. In fact, that was dissolved back in 2016 because the funding that we were outpouring was just for a couple of kids that could be served better and elsewhere in the state. And then we could put all of our funding towards the services that you see today, which are counseling. We offer free counseling, prevention services, both coaching and school services, which we can talk about in more depth in a minute if you'd like, and then diversion services.
Well, let me just interrupt you for a moment. There is so much wrong with the political infrastructure of this country right now. People are desperately clinging to a concept of the Founding Fathers that they gave us a document that, while idealistically it's a beautiful read, they also left room for expansion. A lot of folks are having trouble understanding that. And a lot of other folks tend to take matters into their own hands with a gun. And we're all going through shock at some of the reaction. I am of the opinion that we're watching the growth of a nation. There's a better place coming, or we're headed toward it. But it's going to take some work. I'm also of the opinion that you don't just deal with troubled youth. You have youngsters come through, they're doing fine, but you help them understand what's going on around them.
Absolutely. We have kids from all walks of life that receive services, whether it be counseling. Maybe there's a young person who's struggling with anxiety. Every child's been impacted these days by a cell phone or a device in their face that's caused different issues that they've had. But we want to make sure we provide services for kids from all walks of life and whatever struggles it is that they are facing, struggles that we're equipped to service. But we do serve kids who have gotten into trouble and need some support and guidance and services that will help them get on and stay on a track that will lead them toward a healthy life in the future.
Well, you don't limit it to that either, because you're also in classrooms.
Yep, we are in classrooms.
Which tells me that you're helping youngsters who really are doing just fine, thank you very much, know that there's a good life ahead and to stay the course.
Absolutely. We're actually in 7 school districts in Rogers County, a total of 21 classrooms across the county right now.
That's wonderful.
And we provide services, whatever services the school district or the school principal says, these are the needs and this curriculum that you can offer, we go in and we meet that need. One of those is called DBT skills, dialectical behavior therapy skills. And it's really unique that it was based off of a counseling practice, but it was created for an educational piece. So the teachers can go in and basically put skills in the hands of kids that may struggle with the way they interact with one another. This one case is really easy for many of us to understand. Today, somebody might say, I can't talk to you because you have an opinion that I don't agree with. That's one of the skills that's taught within the DBT skills. There's a number of others. If a child's struggling with anxiety or fear, they're given some skills to do to learn how to manage that. They may still face that challenge, but they're given skills and tools that they can manage that and still live healthy and happy and productive in the classroom, in their home, in their relationship with their friends.
Begs the question, have you been active long enough to be able to look back and see progress you've made?
Absolutely. In fact, all of the curriculum that we use is evidence-based. That's one of the things that we're focusing on. We were brand new into one of the local schools last year. We started out in 2 classrooms, and this year they came back and they said, hey, we're seeing some major differences. Can you please come and offer services for 2 or 3 more classes? Of course, that's all based on funding, and when we have the funds to have the specialist for each of those requests, then we meet it.
We got about a minute left. If you would, help us understand how, if there is a teacher, and God love them, they don't get enough credit, but let's say that there's a teacher watching right now who's not familiar with your organization. How does one go about getting in touch? How does one bring you in? What are the restrictions?
So the best way to start that conversation is you can go to our website, rcys.org. There's some contact information there. That's the quick and easy way to get in touch with us. If there's a teacher or a counselor or a parent who says their child needs services, there's a referral, a really simple referral form on there that that parent can or teacher can go receive services.
And you guys do more than just pay lip service. I mean, you're hands-on involved.
Absolutely.
Well, it's been really an education for me to hear all that you offer. If there's any more we can do down the road, don't hesitate.
Okay. Thank
Pick
you.
up the phone and call, and we'll jump through the hoop for you. And do a good job of it.
Oh, you guys are great. Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you for coming in. We'll have you back down the road. Short break, we'll be back with more. And our final guest today is Clara Mattei, economics professor and president of the Forum for Real Economic Emancipation. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
And I must point out, you're Italian.
Absolutely,
One
I
of
am.
my favorite kind of folks to talk with. What brings you to Oklahoma?
Well, what brings me is primarily my job at the University of Tulsa, and most importantly, the possibility of bringing the economy to people in the sense of discussing economic issues that should empower by understanding that the economy is us as human beings. It's not just an abstract entity that only experts should care about. And I think we really need to re-democratize how we think about economics, especially in a moment in which there's so much economic suffering and sense of powerlessness that pervades everyone's lives. And I think it is really the moment to say the Forum for Real Economic Emancipation is here as a pilot program to see if we can really bring people to participate, to ask the hard questions about real economic topics. For example, why is it that they constantly cut social services? Why is it that the 1% has more than the bottom 90% of the population in the United States combined? Why is it that 1 out of 2 workers is poor, meaning that they can't afford the basic needs? They can't afford to buy what they need to survive, such as food, shelter, and many other basic necessities.
And the price of food is going up and salaries are going down.
Absolutely.
It makes no sense.
Well, yes, unfortunately.
At least to a civilian like me.
Yeah, and this is the intuition that guides the Forum, is that what makes sense for the economy doesn't necessarily make sense for people. Or better, the logic of profit, which is the logic that guides our economic system, is often in opposition to the logic of need, which is actually what we most care about because we care about being humanly in relations with one another.
It's an interesting concept. I'm going to dance around here because we never have enough time. You've already got one book on the shelf, one book that you wrote. What's the name of the book?
The book is called The Capital Order: How Economists Invented Austerity and Paved the Way to Fascism. It's a big mouthful.
Oh, no kidding. And now you're working on a second book.
Yes.
Well, I'm going to have to read here, if you'll just forgive me. But on the first book, my good Lord, You also worked for the Institute for Advanced Studies at Princeton. Your research contributes, and this is a quote, to the history of capitalism, exploring the critical relationship between economic ideas and technocratic policy making. You're so young to have such a grip on this sort of subject.
So I studied a lot because I wanted to show how our economic system is justified by certain ideas that come from those who are benefiting from the system.
How then, in a nutshell, do we tackle the problem?
I think knowledge is crucial, and this is what I've been experimenting here in Tulsa. I moved not very long ago, last December, and in very little time, we were able to put together this organization called the Forum for Real Economic Emancipation. You can see our website, freeforum.org, where people have come together to say the first step towards changing our economy is to understand what is happening in a deeper way. Because knowledge that circulates, once more, comes from this elite that rather than explain, tries to hide what really matters, so that people feel like, you know, they can't do anything about it. If there's a problem, it's probably their own problem. They're probably not good enough. We're trying to say, actually, a lot of this marginalization, impoverishment, is due to systemic problems that we need to fully understand. And that's why we just had an event to discuss how austerity policies, so the fact that we are constantly cutting social expenditures, repressing wages, privatizing public goods, this makes people more precarious. And this precariousness is bad for us, but for the system is actually quite good because it keeps us disciplined into having to accept whatever job, even one that does not pay our bills, we can find.
But the price of groceries continues to escalate while salaries appear to be stagnant.
Yes.
Is there an answer to that?
Well, there's many reasons why inflation happens. So the price of groceries is one manifestation of the fact that prices are going up in a generalized way. And the reason why prices are going up is many times because there's extravagant profit margins from those corporations that actually produce the goods that then we consume. The problem is the people who are just asking for higher wages with respect to what they really deserve. And this I'm not making up. This is actually the economic theory that tells you that inflation is due to what they call wage push. And this is what we need to go against. We need to say economics should not be there to justify these problems, to justify the fact that people are literally not making a living while wealth is being constantly accumulated at the top, because not everyone is getting poorer. The bottom is getting poorer, but the top is getting richer and richer. And we need to understand that we need different explanations that actually see where the problem is. And to get to these different explanations, we can't rely on armchair academics. We need to be with the people, hearing out what the problems are and connecting the dots.
So when are you going to run for office?
I don't have it as a plan. I hope what I care about right now is for the Forum for Real Economic Emancipation, which starts here in Tulsa, to connect with other institutions globally and also to show how this experiment can be reproduced, I hope.
Is it possible to turn around our current system to make it better?
Only if people participate, and I think this is the point. So what we need to do is to pressure from below, to organize in ways that are more in solidarity with one another, to find economic realities that actually work for us, not for profit. Our next event at the Free is going to be at the NYU campus, downtown Tulsa, and it's going to be about mass incarceration, to show again how incarceration can only be understood, and in the United States, we have the highest, by far, incarcerated population in the world, and we know that Oklahoma has amongst the highest women's incarceration numbers in the world.
I didn't know that.
It is like that, and there's almost 2 million people in prison in the United States as we speak.
I have to tell you, I wish we had more time Will you come back?
I will come back, and I hope that the audience can join us for the forum. freefreeforum.org is our website, and we have many events, and I hope this can be the beginning of a better economy for people.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
I'm so impressed. Well, that's all the time we have. We want to thank you for joining us. We'll see you again next time.